Hello there and welcome. I am Teresa Cantley and I am a business growth strategist. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that I've been seeing working with a lot of my my high level one on one clients in regards to as businesses are opening back up. People are struggling to hire good people, to hire people back after, everything that happened last year. And, with the economy opening back up, a lot of businesses going back into the office and things starting to pick up pace, this problem of not being able to hire good people has become a big topic. And I don't care what industry you're in, whether it's the restaurant industry, retail. I mean, I've seen it all over the place, grocery stores. It is a challenge. But what also is a challenge and kind of what's happening as a result of this is people who work for us struggling to keep them motivated, struggling to keep them feeling good about what they're doing. Because now, a lot of times, and I just had this conversation with a whole team in a business yesterday, they're doing the job of one and a half, two people because there isn't anybody to do the work. And the work needs to get done because it is a service based business where customers are coming in and getting buying food, shopping, getting things done. So they need to be there. They need to show up to ensure that the business is continuing to grow and continuing to serve customers, and it becomes a challenge. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about giving our employees some breathing space to have that autonomy that they need to be who they are and express themselves and their frustration, as well as what can you do to help to re-engage them, because it's been so frustrating to try and build our teams back up. That frustration starts to kind of spill over into the rest of the employees that work in the business, as well as the management team. And whether or not they realize it, management realizes it, what will then happen is we try and control the situation. We try and control what's happening. And in us trying to control what's happening, we tend to focus heavily on the numbers. We tend to focus heavily on, getting into what I've heard many people say, crisis mode, and trying to manage the situation. And when we start to go down that road, that's when we start to get into that scarcity mindset. And that is not going to help anyone. I mean, I had this conversation with somebody where they were deciding that instead of being open 7 days a week, they were going to be open 6 days a week because they wanted to take care of their employees because their employees were exhausted. But in the same breath, they were heavily focusing on, oh, well, we're going to lose money, we're going to lose money, we're going to lose money. And the thing is that if you're going to go down the road of we want to take care of our employees, stay on that path. Don't go down the path of that scarcity where you're focusing on, well, if we do this, we're going to lose this. No, you got to stay in. If we do this, we're going to gain this. So thinking about, number one, these people are working hard for you. They are working hard. And more than likely, I know this is the case with a lot of my customers, they're the same people that have been there through 2020. They're still there and they're not going anywhere. Okay. So give yourself a breath and give them a break because they are doing what they can do to continue to move the business forward. Instead of trying to control everything, let's give them a little bit of autonomy to take ownership of their role, but also giving them a space that they can voice their opinion, voice some of their ideas or suggestions, or things that they think might be good to try, things that maybe you haven't done before, and also give them some space to be creative. I know when we get in this control, I like to call it the control master, when we get in control master mode, it squishes the energy. It doesn't let the energy breathe. It doesn't let the energy expand. It doesn't let the energy grow. In fact, it takes it the other way. It squishes it. So giving them space to, like, you letting go of control and giving them space to express their concerns, give their ideas, and then work together to start moving things forward. Work together and get back aligned. So management and whatever your goals are, whatever you're doing, whatever projects that you have, aligning them with the things that your employees are concerned about and making sure that the two of you are aligned. It's just like, as I heard this the other day, being in a boat and you have people who are rowing. I mean, we were watching the Olympics, and these rowers and on the crew team, I mean, they're rowing a specific way. And if one person gets out of sync and isn't aligned with the rhythm, well, then the whole boat would, I guess, tip over, or they wouldn't be going straight, and that would be a problem because they'd run into the boat next to them. So if you have people who aren't willing to align and aren't willing to row in the same direction as you, well, maybe you need to ask yourself, what can you do to help them? And if they don't want to change, they don't want to be part of the team, they don't want to be part of the solution, then maybe it's time that they find another boat, right? So, some questions that you can ask yourself to start getting people aligned back together is number one, asking yourself, what can you do to communicate the vision to your people every day? A start could be that maybe you have a staff meeting. The more I work with small business owners, it always surprises me that people don't have enough staff meetings. And the answer that I get is because we can't get everybody there. Okay, well, if they can't make it, that's fine. You can always record it. I mean, we live in the world of technology so that they can watch it later, right? Or maybe you have two staff meetings talking about the same thing and you give, okay, if you can't come to this one, come to this one. But doing whatever you can to get people together, to bring people together so that you can get in alignment again and you can talk about your vision. So, what can you do to communicate your vision on a regular basis? Also, going along with your vision, what can you do to communicate your goals on a regular basis? And even give them some goals that they can work towards. When we set expectations for people, we want to make sure that we give them some goals to work towards. So we're not giving them unclear expectations, number one. And we're also not setting them up to fail. And I mean fail as in they didn't have the tools to be successful at whatever it is that we wanted them to do. So, how can you communicate those things properly? How can you work every day to develop your people, to take their skills to the next level, to take their ideas to the next level, to listen to what they have to say, to also celebrate and lift each other up instead of constantly telling people what to do? I always like to say to people, managing people, there's a difference between managing people and leading people. Okay. Managing people is just telling them what to do and giving them tasks. Leading people is giving them a space to rise to their own highest potential. And if they fall, helping to lift them back up. So, how can you work to hold that space for them, encourage them, inspire them to do more so that they can continue to grow and align to what the business needs? You need to be willing to invest in your employees, and they also need to be willing to invest back in the business. And that's where the two can come into alignment with each other. I think that this whole hiring situation and trying to get people back into work and and hiring good people, I think it will work itself out and things will get better. I just think it's just going to take some time. I mean, right now we're in the middle of summer, but until then, what you can do is continue to inspire and motivate and align your current employees. And the other thing that you can do is when you are putting together job descriptions and looking for people, make sure that when you're writing your employment ads, that you're adding some of these things. You're communicating your core values. You're communicating the vision of the business so they can see who you are and what you're about and what it is that you want to do. And it becomes more enticing. I hope this helped you. Look for ways that you can bring the energy in your business, that you can create that alignment between you and your team. And once you do that, you're going to start to see that synergy between you instead of that divide between management and the employees. And when you have that synergy, you're going to be able to do so much more, especially with everything, coming back to life and industries changing and workplaces changing. You want to make sure that you're taking care of this now so that you can just focus on scaling and focus on growth.